Welcome to the YouTube channel. Today is the 8th of October, and I will be recapping the events that happened yesterday, 7 October 2022. And this was day 39. So today, on this day, I started my day with emails and the checklist. I also did some surplus funds issues. There's more surplus funds issues. Not too anything too difficult, but there were some kickbacks. We did get another case accepted, so we have 8 accepted cases so far with surplus funds. AJ is helping me out with that. AJ is my personal assistant from the Philippines. She is assisting me with these cases, and I have a gut feeling that probably about 1 in 40 cases we're going to actually get paid. So all we do is we submit the cases, and then they work those cases, and then when they get paid, we get paid. So they're going to go through a bunch of them, and they're not going to get paid. So it's a little bit of an arduous task. But for somebody located in the Philippines that can search online, that can go through different documents online, find these cases, we submit them, and then I'm splitting what she finds 50-50, because I had to pay for the access to this program. All of this is theoretical right now, but other people have been doing it and have done it successfully. So that's surplus funds, and that's I won't go any further than that because I don't have any competition. But yeah, you can do a Google search for surplus funds on YouTube. You'll find information about surplus funds. Is it easy? No, it's not easy, and it's a little bit time consuming. And one of the nice things about having access to somebody from the Philippines is that they can pay. You could be paid $2-3 an hour, and that's a lot cheaper than paying somebody full time. It's a lot cheaper than your time. You could probably go out and make, if you're in the United States, you could probably make $15 an hour easy. Well, in the Philippines, you can't do that. So it's a great opportunity for someone in the Philippines or from India or Bangladesh or wherever to really dive in. For them, it's maybe a little bit more complicated because a lot of these rules and laws and things like that are the documents are a certain way, and actually, we have 67 counties, so we're only working Florida. There's 67 counties in Florida. Most Florida counties are online and have all the documentation online. There are a few that don't, which can be gold mines, because there's nobody checking those. But the ones that are online, the counties differ, so they differ a little bit. Sometimes they differ radically. So a person who's working these issues has to become very familiar where everything is at, and it's not like intuitive. It's like you have to really learn how to do this business, and there's a learning curve. And really, even though you get training, you pay for the training and all that, the real training comes from doing. You get in there and you do it, and we get a lot of cases kicked back because um, people are deceased and they don't take deceased cases. They always say you can work the cases yourself. But what I like about um, this program, and this is why I think this is a fair system that we have, because first of all, I pay the VA a salary every week, so her income is assured. We can't work on theoretical income. She's got to have predictable income because she's got a family and she's got bills and things like that. But for me, it's theoretical because I'm paying, and with the possibility that I'm going to get paid for these cases when they collect. If I was doing this on my own and I could do it on my own, I would have to fund the deal. I would have to find the person, fund the person, maybe have an attorney look at it. That's a lot of stuff, and I'm not set up for that. So the place that I have this training program, and I would say it's more like an access, like a partnership program with them. They have their own in-house skip tracers. They have their own in-house attorney, or they have contract with attorneys. Um, they, they give the money up front, to, like, they give a portion of the money up front to the claimant. So, that claimant doesn't have to wait. They get that money like immediately. Um, so they get a portion of the money, I should say, up front immediately. So there's a lot of advantages for someone to say, okay, I'll go ahead and I'll give you a portion of what unclaimed funds there is, because they're getting the money right away, and they make it stupid simple for them to file the claim. So everything is on them. They have to find the person, they have to negotiate with the person, they have to get the attorney, they have to put up their funds. So for the researcher finding the case, we get 8% of the gross, 8% of the gross income on completed cases. So, if there's $20,000 overage, and, I don't know, 8,000, maybe 8,000 is the gross, I'm talking $1,000, maybe even more. And sometimes the overages are a lot more. And then when I get that 8%, I split that with the VA. She gets half of it, and I get half of it. I don't get anything if I don't do anything, right? If we're not successful, she still gets her salary. So I think, in my mind, that's the agreement that we have. That works out really well. I think it's fair. So I had to purchase access, like, you buy the program, but really you're buying into a partnership. You're buying in, I have lifetime access to them. So I have the partnership with the company that does this. That's going to find and fund and have the legal review. So that's really huge. So that's what we're working on. I have her working on that, and I also have her working on my book business. So it works out pretty well. At one time, I had as many as 25 virtual assistants working with me on drop shipping. I'm no longer doing that business anymore. It's just not a sustainable business. It worked really well for a little bit of time, for a couple years, and I was able to generate millions of dollars in revenue, not in profit, but in revenue, using that method. So I'm confident that I can do something else I want to say that's not going to be taken away from me. I want to do something that's completely above board. Um, Dropshipping is not inherently illegal, but it can, on many different platforms, be against the terms of service of that platform, and you can be shut down. And in fact, I did have one account limited for dropshipping. Even though we provided excellent customer service, nobody was defrauded or anything like that, um, it's just their store. If you're talking about Amazon or eBay or Facebook Marketplace or Mercari or any of these other platforms, it's their store. You must always remember that. Um, and it's still very profitable. People still are doing drop shipping. I just, like I said, after doing it for a number of years, I see there's big money, but I don't like getting a phone call, and I don't like having to tap dance my way through when I get a phone call about an issue. Um, it's not worth it. There's other ways to legitimately make money that is fully compliant with the terms of service. It's not going to get me in trouble. Same thing with an insurance. We were talking yesterday about insurance. This one company that was ready to join, they've got a pretty good plan. And the guy, there's a YouTube personality. I like this guy. He's a very good, jovial, intelligent guy. I don't want to say who he is because I don't want to dime him out. But his plan is he has Filipino telemarketers, and these telemarketers buy data from public source data, public records data, and they start making phone calls using a predictive dialer. And the problem with this is it's not legal. It's against the law. You're not. It's not like I don't know. It might actually even be a felony. Um, I heard something once is like, as long as you don't commit a felony, I don't know if that's a correct statement. I don't want to break any laws if I can help it. But definitely do not commit any felonies. You'll you'll fuck yourself for the rest of your life. So don't do that. Although there is a book out there called Three Felonies a Day. I'll link that in the show notes for today. Um, the average person commits 3 felonies a day, and you need to be cognizant of that. And you need to know, even now, when you're not doing anything wrong, when everything seems to be fine and everything's cool in your life, you're not doing anything, you really want to become acquainted with a criminal defense attorney, um, and have something in your pocket, something in your wallet, have some understanding of criminal law. That's my opinion. Always consult with an attorney. Um, I have a legal plan, and the legal plan gives me unlimited consultations with an attorney, and I've gotten great use. This is only for the state of Florida. I'll put this in the show notes. Only for the state of Florida. Now, they do have like prepaid legal in other places. I used to do that as a business. I tried to do that as a business. I wasn't successful. Um, that's a good plan, but there's a plan in Florida. If you happen to be a Florida resident, there's a program called Preferred Legal Plan, and they're in Hollywood, Florida, but they cover the whole state of Florida. You can join. It's a nominal fee. It's only a couple $100 a year, and they do unlimited letters, and they do unlimited consultations. They'll help you with a will. Um, I have found it invaluable when I've gotten like letters from people saying I owe money. I send that to the attorney. The attorney answers it. I've had situations with timeshares. The attorney would send them a letter. Things changed when you have an attorney and you have somebody representing you, and you have a law firm representing you. Things really change. You know, So the whole, you know, these companies, whether they're credit card companies, creditors, debt collection agencies, timeshare companies, um, when somebody comes out and says that you owe them money, I say my first knee-jerk reaction is to ask the attorney to get involved with that and send them a letter. And the whole dynamic of that situation is different. Nothing wrong with that. It's just that it's a very different situation because everybody has a finite amount of time. And if you happen to be like a collection agency or a creditor, or you're a consumer company, like I had consumer issues, where I bought something and I didn't, I wasn't being treated fairly or something, I would contact the attorney. They send them a letter. It changes the dynamic a lot. Now, there's a lot of things that they won't do. I mean, it is only a couple $100. So you can't expect, if you're facing felony charges, that Preferred Legal Plan is going to be there in court with you. That's not going to work. They do offer a discount, so they'll give you a plan attorney that they know of, and they'll provide a discount. But the best way, the best thing that you could do for yourself, I think, and this is me talking to me, is prevention, right? Is not to put yourself in that situation to begin with, and understand, that if something's going down, you want to have an attorney that can swat that out. So I have Preferred Legal Plan, and I've also researched attorneys in my local area, and I also know there's, I'll put this in the show notes. Do not ever talk to the police. Now, I love police. I love law enforcement. I'm retired military, so there's like some, um, service. Police officers serve their communities. Soldiers serve their country. I was a soldier for 20 years. But I also went to law school for 1 year. It doesn't make me an expert, doesn't make me certified or anything, but just this is what I would tell my kids. Do not, under any circumstances, talk to the police. Right? There's an excellent video on that. Just, try to end if you get into an encounter with law enforcement, be respectful, and tell them that you appreciate them and thank them for what they do. Thank them for their service, but also tell them, like, look, I do not discuss anything with the police, because anything you say, and that means anything can and will be used against you. It's like, oh, I'm just coming from the Walmart, you know. And unbeknownst to you, there was a holdup at Walmart, and the person who held up the Walmart is a man who fits your description. That just it's like a hypothetical. And then, you know, and keep, do not say anything. You know, try to end that encounter. Ask the police officer, are you detaining me, or am I free to go? Right? You don't need to answer their questions. You know, and they don't have to read you their Miranda rights, contrary to belief. They only have to read you your Miranda rights, you know, when they have you in an interrogation room and all that. Remain silent. Now, you do have to provide, like if you're driving a motor vehicle, you do have to provide your driver's license, proof of insurance, and registration. Um, but, you know, if they say, ask you, why did I pull you over? You say, thank you, officer. Appreciate your service. I'm not answering any questions. Am I free to leave? Or, you know, and do not consent to searches of any kind, right? They say, we're going to search the car anyway, but we'd like to have your consent. Well, the answer is no, right? And there's a legal reason for that. I don't want to get into it. This is the videos that I've watched from attorneys. I'm just parroting what they have said. The answer is no. If there's no upside for you, that you never consent to searches at all, right? If they find something, and if they, you know, your attorney may be able to challenge that. If they break something, they could say, well, you had authorized us to search your vehicle, so they broke something while during the search. So don't consent to searches of any kind, right? Don't consent to searches. Don't answer any questions. Say, hey, I don't. I'd like to be. I'd like to be polite. I'm not. I appreciate what you do, but I don't want to answer any questions. I want to remain silent. And am I free to leave, or am I being detained, or am I free to leave? And, you know, if they say you're free to leave, then you say, thank you very much, officer, goodbye, and you leave, right? You're being detained, ask why you're being detained, and try to get out of that situation without answering any questions. There's a lot of YouTube videos on this subject, and I encourage you to take it, you know, to look into that. So for the insurance, that was a long tangent. For the insurance, this guy wanted, you know, his program was to call using public data people on the telephone in my state who are 65, turning 65 and all that. The problem with this is it's not legal, right? Because there's very tough telecommunication laws in the state of Florida. And I had paid money. He's like, everybody's doing this, and if you don't do it, your competition will. And he's like, nobody's getting in trouble over this. And, you know, in a moment of weakness, I started to sign up for this. I actually paid $1,000 for it. Then the little voice inside me said, you know what? This is not right. You can't do this. It's against the law. And I said, you know what? I changed my mind. I'm not doing this. I told him, I said, like, you know, I understand, right? Maybe nothing would happen, you know, but I don't want to do this. If it's not legal, I don't want to do it. I just don't want to do something that's not legal. And I know pretty much everything these days is illegal, actually. You know, you're some kind of city ordinance, or maybe you can't open a business, or you have to have this kind of license or that. It's hard. You know, it's challenging. I think it's not impossible, but you can't do that. You can't call people up on the phone without their permission. You can't walk into somebody's house without their permission. You can't spam people without their permission. There was a time when you could do that, but that time is long past, and there are very big penalties if you get caught. And I even had, prior to this, I had a lead. Now, a lead is a person that I can contact because they had reached out, they had put their information into a form, and they asked to be contacted. And this woman, this senior citizen, this woman was hysterical. She called me back a couple of times. And she's like, I'm going to sue you, you bastard, and da-da-da-da-da. Really, really angry that I had called her, because I called her a couple of times, right? And that was a consensual contact. I contacted her because I was following up on her request. And she acted like a complete asshole, right? Can you imagine Now, maybe most people are nice. I mean, when I get somebody at my door, you know, like the solar people come all the time at my door. I'm going to talk more about that in a second. The solar people come at my door, and they're trying to get me into solar, and um, we have a no soliciting policy in our community, and um, we have a community Facebook page, and the people in the community are like, are really angry that these people would come and spoil their afternoon. Now, yeah, when you get a knock on the door and it's not somebody that, you're not expecting company, and, it takes me away from my work, I'm a little annoyed, but I'm also, I have some kind of respect for somebody who will do door knocking, because it's something, it takes a lot of wherewithal to go from place to place, and you're going to get rejected a lot, but that's the nature of sales. So I respect that. I have that respect, but I just politely tell them, no, I'm not interested. No, thank you. Um, but a lot of people, can get in some serious trouble, you know, and it's not. It's like that's not how you want to. That's not how I want to do it, right? That's not how I would want to do door knocking and all that. So that's why the insurance thing. I've changed my mind a couple of times on insurance companies, and I do not want to do something that's going to do something illegal. That's why I stopped doing the drop shipping, because I had an account limited and said, you know what, I don't want to earn my living. I don't want my business to be based on a platform where their terms of service says that I can't do this, right? Um, and I stopped doing it. It's just as simple as that. Um, Maybe I walked away from a multi-million dollar business, but um, my principles are intact. The little principles and integrity that I have. I'm not perfect. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. Um, I'm not going to go further with that. I'm not going to dig the hole any further than that. So anyway, there's no school. There was no school yesterday for the kids. It was a teacher work day. It's the end of the first grading period, and then I had a exercise for 45 minutes. Did a 3-minute jog. Then I had a gym orientation at Planet Fitness. The personal trainer took me around the different machines and gave me like a brief, overview on some of them. I'm mostly interested in the 30-minute circuit. I think today, I am going to do it today. Today's a good day. I'm going to do the 30-minute circuit at Planet Fitness. I think it's a perfect workout for me at Planet Fitness. Then, so I had the gym orientation. Then yesterday I got a message, and I've been getting a lot of Facebook friends. I've been adding a lot of Facebook friends on purpose because I want to, get higher networks. And a lot of people are coaches. I'm interested in coaching myself. I'm taking a wellness, the Remote Wellness Academy. A gentleman is doing solar. And I just got done talking about the solar guys knocking on doors. But this company is different. They don't knock on doors. They don't visit people in their homes. They don't do things like that. It's all virtual. It can be done anywhere in the world, and the opportunities are endless. And this guy's making a very, very good income on this, and it doesn't require a whole lot of people. It's set up like network marketing where you're paid like several different levels, but it's a great company, and they're doing a lot of great things. And um, there's a lot of good reasons why that, I have been, I'm a very conservative person. I've been very resistant to solar, but there's some good reasons why now would probably be a good time. The first is that, like it or not, the government is embracing solar, and they provide tax credits, not deductions, but tax credits for having these systems. So if you get a solar system, the government's pretty much paying about 30% of the solar system, right? The second thing is energy costs are skyrocketing. So all the people who are getting solar systems, the people who are not having them are going to wind up paying more money because the energy companies are not going to take a loss. The price of energy will go up. for people who don't have solar. That's my opinion, right? I think that's pretty much everybody's saying that. So if you have a solar system, you could reduce your bill to almost nothing. Especially where I live, I have pretty good access to the sun, um, and there's ways to be able to, like, they can show how to build the right system and all that. The loan for the solar system can be zero, um, zero down loan, and instead of paying the energy company, you pay the solar company, and you're paying about half of what you'd be paying for your energy bill. It really is a no-brainer. And then it's also like in Florida, sometimes the power goes out, storms. You could have solar batteries so that while all the power of the grid goes down, you have a backup battery. And energy costs are going through the roof. Like in the United Kingdom passed some laws recently that the government is going to cover bills of individuals where it's £2,500. So if your bill is like $300, more than $300 a month, the government's going to pay them, because they have no energy. They have no energy whatsoever, and that could happen here in the United States. At least if you have some solar panels on your house, right? It's not gonna get that extreme. The energy costs are going through the roof. I don't know if you also know this, but in the next 10 years, they're not going to make gasoline engines anymore. I mean, California just passed a law saying in 10 years, they're phasing out gasoline-powered engines, right? I am a fossil fuel guy. I used to live in Saudi Arabia. I was in the Eastern Province in Dhahran, very familiar with Saudi Aramco, largest energy company in the world. They have these, they have lots of oil. There's lots of oil out there. Still, there's billions of gallons of oil in proven oil reserves, enough probably to last over 100 years. And there's a lot of oil elsewhere. And the United States has a lot of oil and coal and all that, and natural gas. Okay, so you can make the argument about saving the environment, and then people could say, well, the solar panels, that they cost petroleum to do that. But like I said, the solar panels are already being built, whether you like it or not, whatever, right? It's really beyond our control. At the end of the day, it really matters most is about what energy bill you're paying, right? The politics of it doesn't really mean anything. It's what are you paying for your home, right? And you can see the energy bills are going up, and things are getting tight. Inflation's going up. I'm like, okay, how am I going to make ends meet? I'm already paying like $300 a month, um, for my energy bill, and that energy bill can go up. So eventually you're going to, the fossil fuels, we are going to run out of fossil fuels. It's just we're going to run out of them, and this is clean energy. It's the future. My children's children, probably when I'm dead and gone, my children's children are going to have to live in a world where they don't use fossil fuels, because either there won't be any, or the damage to the environment will be great. I think that with the global warming argument and the green energy and all that, look, I don't think it's as catastrophic as they say. I think there's like a political agenda attached to all that. Having said that, I do think that there are situations where, we can do a little bit, we can do better, we can have these things to have cleaner air. I think nobody disputes that. Like Los Angeles, for example, used to have a big cloud of smog, with cars and all that. So if you have electric cars, then you don't, you probably don't have, you're not going to have those issues with the clean air, So what does an electric car have to do with a solar at home? Well, if you have an electric car and it's plugged into your house, It's going to be charging energy, and it takes a lot of energy to power one of those electric cars. Where does that energy come from? Well, they can come from your solar panels. Just spitballing that out there. So I think it's a great opportunity. The guy that introduced me to this, he's got a 5-year plan. He works anywhere. He's planning to move back overseas. You can work this virtually. He says he's never met any of his customers. He's never door knocked. And we can help build teams. So I'm sold on that. It's very low cost to get involved. I'm sold on it. And I'm going to get solar panels for myself. And I'm completely sold on it. So, and it's a business that's going to pay a lot of money. He says it's the last job I'll ever have. We'll see, but I'm really excited about solar opportunities. Seems like a really good company. And then yesterday I did more book buying. I finished Remote Wellness Academy. I didn't finish, but I watched all the videos for Remote Wellness Academy Module 3, Training 9. And because I've reached a point now I need more videos to be released, I asked them to give me early release because they have time release for their videos. I bought a device for my tires. I was low on air on my car, and it was annoying that the indicator was saying there was something wrong. At the gas station right by my house, there's an air compressor, but they charge you for it. You got to put a credit card in there, and it's $2 to put air in your tires, and it still didn't work. And there's places in town where you can go get it for free, but that one gas station is nearest to my home. I didn't want to really mess with it. So I found something on Amazon, really cheap, and it worked like a charm. And it's like, I'll have that, and it's like, I've filled up all the tires. I've got it exactly to 36 psi on each tire. All 4 tires are the same thing. So that was that little device did the trick. I won't have to pay the pirates over at the gas station $2 to put air in my tire. It's ridiculous, right? Those things used to be free. Things are not free anymore. So then I did more food tracking. Yesterday I did a lot more food tracking. I'm really into that now. Exercise, food tracking. I'm a little sluggish because body's saying, hey, what's going on here? But we are really serious about losing weight and being a good example for my coaching clients. And then unfortunately yesterday evening I had some computer issues where the computer decided not to power on. I had to do some hard restarts, try to unplug everything, plug everything back in. It did eventually work again. I have a laptop I bought several years ago. It's a big laptop. It's like the biggest laptop you could buy. I think it's got like a 17-inch monitor. It's a really good laptop. It's got all the programs that I like. I turned it in for like upgrades before, and I've had a computer shop make upgrades to it. Even though it's an oldie, but it's a goodie, and I don't want to like change it. So, this I will talk about in the morning tomorrow. But yeah, anyway, before I end the video, I want to say, hey, I noticed that there have been a couple of views. Thank you for watching these videos. If I get 1,000 subscribers, I will have a guest on my my show, my daily show. I'll have a guest. I'll have a special show. Maybe if I have 1,000 subscribers, I will have a guest on one show, and I'll also do a live stream, right? I need 1,000 subscribers to do a live stream, right? So I appreciate you watching this. I'm also looking for that first like. I'm also looking for that first comment and that first subscriber, but I know there have been views, so that's encouraging. I don't expect anything, I have no expectation. It probably might be more than a year before I get somebody, right? That's the way it always works. You gotta sometimes sing to an empty stadium before the crowds start trickling in, and then you got a whole stadium full of people out there listening to you. All right, well, anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. It's a long one. Thanks.